lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So today is a double upload. I am reading for George Michael and Princess Diana. These are two very epic readings. This reading is for George Michael. If you like this video, please do hit a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoy psychic readings, and comment down below your favourite George Michael song and leave some love for the legend that is George Michael. So as I picked up on George's energy, he was very relaxed, and actually he presented himself to me kind of slouched in a sofa, or a couch as you would say in the States, and he was very open to talk. The mood is very mellow with George, and he drew me to his life on Earth and said, you know, when I was on Earth, there was a element of depression around me. He talked about losing a partner from a very young age, and as he mentioned this, I did recall that actually, yeah, I think he did. And if you know what this gentleman's name was, please confirm it down below. But I feel like he did lose a partner, like a love partner, very young in life, in his 20s, and he said, oh, I was never the same after that. I was never the same, because I started to talk about his relationship with the person he was with when he passed away, and he said, yeah, that person was great and I loved them, they were amazing and they were good for me, but when I lost my first love, nothing ever filled that void, nothing ever filled that gap, and I was never the same again. You know, he's confirming he had a problem with drink, he's confirming he had a problem with drugs, but what he is also confirming is it got to a stage with him where he would have liked to have backed out of music like a long time before he passed, like a long time before. I'm thinking like in his 20s, before things even got as big as they did for him. He would have liked to have backed out of it sooner, but he was saying it got so out of control. He was saying, I couldn't just go and get a normal job. This was my only option. And I loved music and I loved doing it, but it was so lonely when I got to the top. There was such a sadness when I realised what the reality of my dreams were. So from a young child, I wanted to sing and I wanted to do all these things, but I thought it was glamorous and everyone would love you and people would like you. But I got to the top and everyone hated me. You know, the press hounded me, they ruined my life, they told lies about me, they made me out to be someone I'm not, someone I wasn't, and it came to a point when my identity became lost, and I didn't even know who I was anymore, and I was just lost. And it was really funny, because I had Fast Love playing as I was talking to George, and he was talking about this idea of being lost, and as he mentioned it, that line came up in Fast Love where it says, in the absence of security, I make my way into the night. And he was saying that's exactly what it was when I decided, you know, I didn't want to be here anymore. I'd had enough, and there was nothing else I wanted to do. He said I would have loved to have gone back into music, but I wasn't prepared to let the press come back into my life and hound me, so I felt trapped in that way. But then it was like, what else am I going to do? And he just felt like, well, there's nothing else I can do, and it's like a real feeling of helplessness, like what do I do, what do I do? So I'm just going to pull some cards. It was like, there's nothing else I could do. He was saying, when I entered this business, I came in such a young, enthusiastic, hopeful, like, joy, and I was just so excited for where it was going to take me. And then when I had the realisation of what it actually was, you know, it's enough to drive you to drink and alcohol and drugs, like it's enough to drive you there, George Michael. And we talked about it because George Michael is actually from the same area as I am. He grew up in the same kind of area as me, so now you're going to know where I live. But he talked about, and I said, you know, coming from where we come from, I can only imagine what a big deal it was for you to have made it. And he said, yeah. And so when I did make it, it was like I didn't know who I could trust anymore. Yeah, totally. It was like I didn't know who I could trust, and I lost a lot of my friends and I lost a lot of myself because of it. I feel like for a long time as well, he's talking about, yeah, wow, there's a lot of male energy here. He's talking about, yes, that's really funny. Knight of Cups is a night of love, and you see the cups represents love, so he brings messages of love. And as I was just about to pull that card, he was telling me about managers, male managers in his in the industry who he worked with, saying you must not tell anyone you are gay. And so he had to hide a lot of himself for a really, really long time, George Michael. You know, he had to do that, and it was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And, you know, I feel like there were men in the industry that made his life a little bit of a living hell. And it was like they would blackmail him. It was like, well, if you do that, I'm going to sell this story about you. And he's quite a sensitive soul. Like, he's a very caring, he's got a big heart. Spirit are drawing me to my chest. His heart feels, you know, his heart chakra is open. His heart feels very, very open, George Michael. Okay. Yeah, his heart chakra feels very, very open, and so it's like he would have like given to a lot of people. He would have given to a lot of people willingly, and I feel like he helped a lot of charities and things like that because he wanted to give back. He had a very good, sensitive soul, and so, you know, when someone's coming at him and blackmailing him, he's thinking, what the hell do I do here? I'm not used to this scenario. And so he did just kind of put up and shut. I'm sorry, this is the Five of Wands card of conflict above what I was saying about having to hide about his sexuality. So people in the industry, people that were supposed to be his friends, supposed to be his management, supposed to be guiding him, made him lie. That's hideous. Okay, last card for George. Last card for George. Oh, there we go. 2 cards, always the way. Yeah, there we go. There's his spiritual, charitable efforts. So looking at these cards, I'm not surprised to see any of them here at all. Over here we have the Page of Cups. This is George on his early days in the industry. So he's setting out to make money. He's thinking, right, I've got this talent, I've got this ambition, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make money. And he did. 10 of Pentacles is a card of reward, inheritance, reaping what you've sown. It's one of the higher Pentacles cards, so it's talking about gaining a lot of money, and he did. But he soon came to realise that this was not what he'd expected it to be, and he was made to feel, he's saying, I was made to feel like a fool. I was made to feel like an idiot on numerous occasions for just trying to live out my dream. You know, I thought it was going to be so simple. I was going to go into a studio, make money, do shows, and that would be it. But no, it was the whole hounding of the press that came with it that made my life a living hell. And it was a living hell. Now, he had a lot of female guidance around him, and he's saying, actually, I loved to work with females, and if the industry had been full of females only, it would have been a completely different experience for me, and it would have been a completely different life. But he's actually saying that the males in the industry, the males that he had to work with, made his life hell. He's talking about Whitney, Aretha, Chaka Khan, Mary J. Blige. He's naming a lot of females here that helped him and that he had a very good relationship with. He's actually talking about Whitney Houston. And also, what was really funny about sorry, I'll go back to that. He's talking about a conversation he had with Whitney Houston before she died, and how they related to each other on the same level, on the things they had experienced in their childhood, and then the way they came up so young as well. So they related to each other, and he's saying we've met here on the other side as well, and that's been really, really healing for him. It was really funny because as I started to connect with George Michael, he said, oh, I love things like this. And I said, oh my gosh, yes, I can feel it. I feel you would have seen a lot of psychics on Earth. And he's saying that before he died, he also had a female friend who was a psychic. And she said the last time she saw him, her specific words to him were, George, I'm worried about you. You do not seem yourself. And he agreed, and they kind of gave each other a look as if they knew what was about to happen, and then he passed away. So that's really, really interesting. But he's saying thank you to the females who worked with him, because they made his time on Earth and his time in the industry an amazing experience. And if they hadn't have been there, it would have been all the worse for it. Again, we've talked about this, the Knight of Cups and the Five of Wands. So Knight of Cups here talks about, the Knight of Cups is actually a night of socialising, fun, partying, entertainment, and that is how the press made George Michael out to be, didn't they? They made him out to be this party animal, this guy that sleeps around, this sleazy. That's how they painted him. That's how they painted him, and it's because he was gay. So because he was gay, they painted him to be a man that had no morals, that had, you know, it was just complete like fabrication of who he actually was. And he's saying he's saying I had to fight so much every day just to prove myself, just to, even with myself, he's saying it gave me so much inner conflict. He's saying I was seeing so many stories printed about me all the time. It got to the point where I was like, are they right? Like, am I wrong? Do I not know myself? Are they actually right? Are the things they're saying about me correct? And he got to the point where he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's when he did step back from the limelight, and he was just like, nah, not for me, not for me. I need to go and find out who I am. And I feel like George Michael behind closed doors would have actually gone on, he's talking about like Buddhism and Hare Krishna, like he's talking about going on a spiritual religious journey, but he is saying that couldn't even help me find my solace in life. I had lost my faith and lost my way. The Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles are both here. So Eight of Pentacles represents opportunities, Six of Pentacles represents charitable work. So he would have been happy to just retire and help charities. The Page of Wands is a page of caution, a warning. I feel like George Michael was warned, you know, if you don't slow down, you're going to hurt yourself, you know, if you don't look after yourself, you know, something's going to happen to you. And I feel like these people would have said this to him constantly, but he's just saying, like, you know, I wasn't in the right frame of mind to listen, and also I'd just given up. You know, there's only so much that one person can take, and he's trying to express the magnitude of what it was like for him, having press outside his door every day. He's saying, I was just a normal kid from a small place, so to go from that to like having all of this on me, I just wanted to be normal, and I couldn't. It was like once I'd gone into it, there was no going back. And like I said earlier in the reading, you know, there was one point in his career where he did want to just walk away. He did just want to give it up, but it had gone too far. It's not like he could just go and get a job in McDonald's. It was too late. He'd already made it with Wham. He'd already been recognised, and at that point it was too late. He couldn't step back from it. So, you know, he's saying if I could have given it all up to have a normal life, I would have. Because one of the first things he said to me, and he's just repeated it now, I was not built for fame. And I'm going to leave George Michael's reading there. George Michael is now in a happy place. He's saying he's surrounded by people who love him. He's sitting, he's chilled, he's relaxed, he's smiling, he's laughing. He's saying life is a ride. He's just saying life is a ride, and his energy is pulling off. So thank you so much for watching this video on George Michael. Christmas Day is the day that he left Earth and transcended into the spiritual realm. So leave some love for George down in the comments. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up, and I will see you soon for another reading. Bye, lovelies.